You've seen the penthouses, the infinity pools floating over Los Angeles, the marble kitchens, the floating staircases, the glass walls. You've seen influencers walk through $20 million homes saying, "Welcome to my house." But here's the uncomfortable question no one asks. If they're really that rich, why are they showing you where they sleep? Because the truth is, the louder the house, the less powerful the owner usually is. And the richest houses in the world, you'll never see them. The staged mansion economy. Open Instagram, search luxury house tour. You'll find hundreds. Influencers filming inside modern mansions. Entrepreneurs giving success walkthroughs. Creators flexing driveways longer than airport runways. Now here's what most viewers don't realize. Many of those homes are rented. In cities like Los Angeles, entire estates are available purely for content creation. Management companies lease them to influencer groups. Brands use them for brand positioning. Creators use them as authority backdrops. The mansion becomes a studio, a set, a stage. It's wealth theater. And theater performs best when the audience believes it's real. If someone's income depends on being seen as rich, they must show proof. But if someone's wealth doesn't depend on your belief, they don't. Visible wealth versus structural wealth. There are two types of wealth: visible wealth, structural wealth. Visible wealth needs validation. It converts attention into income. It uses lifestyle as leverage. Structural wealth doesn't need validation. It converts control into influence. It hides lifestyle to preserve leverage. A millionaire showing his house is often marketing. A billionaire hiding his house is often protecting position. Two different games, two different risk profiles, two different psychologies. The Buffett paradox. Consider Warren Buffett, one of the richest men in the world. He still lives in the Omaha house he bought in 1958. It's modest, it's known, it's not cinematic. Why? Because extreme wealth doesn't require architectural proof. Buffett's power isn't in square footage, it's in ownership stakes, board control, capital allocation. The house is irrelevant to the empire, so why advertise it? Now contrast that with social media entrepreneurs who treat real estate like a resume. Different stage of wealth, different incentives. Privacy is the real luxury. Real estate experts often say, privacy is the ultimate luxury. In gated communities like Hidden Hills, layers of security separate residents from the public. Guarded entrances, private patrols, long driveways invisible from the street. Because once strangers know your layout, you've lost information asymmetry, and information asymmetry is power. Look at Mark Zuckerberg. Over time, he quietly purchased multiple neighboring properties around his home, not to flex, to create distance, control surrounding land, limit sightlines, increase perimeter security. It wasn't about bigger living rooms, it was about reducing exposure. Now ask yourself, have you ever seen a detailed tour of his private interior? No cinematic YouTube walkthrough, no influencer-style reveal, just silence. Silence is strategic. Ownership that isn't ownership. Here's where it gets deeper. Ultra-wealthy properties are rarely owned directly. They're purchased through LLCs, trusts, layered holding companies. The public record won't say the billionaire's name. It will say something neutral, something forgettable. For example, Taylor Swift has purchased properties through private entities, often off-market. No open listings, no public showings, no detailed interior exposure. By the time news surfaces, the deal is closed. Because once ownership becomes visible, vulnerability increases. And real power avoids unnecessary vulnerability. Security is only the surface. Yes, security is part of it. High net worth individuals face targeted burglaries, extortion attempts, kidnapping risks. Luxury security firms perform digital exposure audits for a reason. When someone posts entry points, window placements, security system brands, they're leaking operational intelligence. But here's the deeper layer. Security is the surface explanation. Control is the real reason. Control over narrative, control over access, control over information flow. And once something is public, it's no longer controlled. Old money rules. There's an unspoken rule in generational wealth circles. Never advertise land, never expose structure, never reveal floor plans. Old money treats privacy like inheritance protection because wealth isn't about impressing strangers. It's about surviving generations. New money proves, old money preserves, pattern interrupt. If you need strangers to see your house, you're still in the proving phase. Attention is a liability. Here's a shift most people don't understand. For influencers, attention equals income. For billionaires, attention equals liability. The millionaire earns through visibility. The billionaire protects through invisibility. If attention increases risk, and risk decreases leverage, then silence becomes the optimal strategy. That's why you'll find Architectural Digest spreads with controlled angles, aerial shots without street-level detail, magazine features without operational exposure, image without intelligence. Because intelligence has value, and value is never given away for free. The rental illusion. Another layer. Some ultra-rich individuals rent strategically. Why? Mobility, tax positioning, paper trail reduction, flexibility. A $40,000 a month lease creates less permanent exposure than a $30 million purchase. Ownership locks you in records. Renting keeps you fluid, and fluidity equals optionality. The wealthy obsess over optionality, not aesthetics. Stealth. Wealth design. Even when ultra-wealthy individuals own massive estates, you might not recognize them as rich houses. Because stealth wealth design favors understatement, neutral palettes, high craftsmanship without logos, minimal external spectacle. A billionaire's home might look calm, tasteful, quiet. No gold lions, no crystal chandeliers screaming for validation. Because among elite circles, showing off signals insecurity. Discretion signals confidence. Real estate is not the empire. Here's another perspective. For ultra-wealthy individuals, the mansion is often a small percentage of net worth. The real power lies in equity stakes, private deals, board influence, land acquisitions outside public hype. The house is shelter. The empire is structural. So why expose something strategically minor? Why trade privacy for applause? The applause doesn't increase control. It only increases visibility. And visibility increases friction. When wealth becomes abstract. At extreme levels, wealth becomes intangible. Shares, influence, networks, policy access. When wealth becomes abstract, physical flexing feels primitive. Showing off square footage feels small compared to controlling supply chains. That's the psychological shift. Millionaires display, billionaires design, millionaires convert attention. Billionaires convert silence. Millionaires need belief. Billionaires already have position. The final truth. The houses you see online, often marketing assets. The houses you don't see, often control assets. One is designed to be consumed. The other is designed to be protected. And control assets are never publicly mapped, because once mapped, they're no longer control assets. They're targets. Closing. The richest people in the world don't live inside your algorithm. They live behind layers, legal structures, private buffers, information gaps. You see the performance, you don't see the fortress. And maybe that's the real flex. Not being seen, not being searchable, not being predictable. If you can tour it online, if you can study the blueprint, If you know exactly where the bedroom is, you're probably not looking at real power. You're looking at positioning. Real power doesn't open the door. It removes the address.